All right, hi, this is Anakin, and welcome to Series 3, Episode 1 of Manor Lords. We're going to start a new game because another big patch came out. I'm on 0.7.965, and we're going to start a new game. We'll have our usual, I like Sir Longarm now. I think he's the man. And we're going to have our usual green dragons, and let's go. Now, what we're going to do is play on the edge and challenging difficulty. Two things happened that kind of kept me making these videos on Manor Lords for a while. One, took a little vacation. My wife and I visited friends and family in Tennessee, Ohio, and Maryland. And for those of you who are not from the United States and think, well, you just went to 3 states, that must not have been much driving. It was a fair amount. It was a fair amount of driving. But we had a great time. Went to a couple of charity events, got to see my mother, got to see my wife's mother and brother. So it was all good. And the other thing that kept me from making them is this new patch, which really changed everything. And, I can't... I've decided I will not make guides or stuff like that yet because the game is changing so much, and I see the other guys will do a ton of work. They'll make a guide that seems really good, and then the next day it's just baloney. It's just wrong. So I'm not going there. So what I did want to do though is I've been playing around. The other reason really that I quit making Manor Lord videos is the game was getting too easy. On normal difficulty, it really is kind of, honestly, it's a little boring. You may love it. If you do, go for it. You may love it on relaxing. It doesn't matter. Play it the way you like to. But for me, it's got to have some, there's got to be some reason you do things. You can't just get away with any old thing and survive. That's no good. So playing it on challenging on the edge is really fairly difficult. Our goal is to grow our city, so to get to a large town status. The default setup here you can see, we're going to play this first and then we're going to come back and play it a little bit harder. Just on the default challenging setup, there's no off-map adversary, so we really don't have to worry about that. But we get a lot of raiders. We only get 1 year off. After 1 year, we're going to get clobbered. There's going to be a bunch of bandit camps out there for us to fight off. And we're going to start in the winter, which makes it much more difficult. Now, here's the biggie. The starting supplies are standard. Now, if I come back and do this again, which is the plan, I would make this into nothing. So we would start with nothing. That's more interesting to me. But this one, it's not easy. And it is very different how you would play these two. So I want to do this one first, the standard. And we're going to have a double King's Tax, no armament delivery, demanding residential requirements, meaning they're going to get unhappy faster because they're going to want things that are actually the level above them. They're going to always want everything, everything all the time, so to speak. The high penalty if your approval is going down, if you don't meet these demands. And difficult weather, meaning that anytime you get rain, even rain or snow, your exposed supplies just instantly are gone. They're just gone. And that's the whole deal. That's the big difference between the standard starting and the nothing starting. The nothing starting, not a problem. You don't have anything. Standard, you want to save what you've got. So let's get going. Let's get started. Now, one thing I'll tell you, I am going to try to kind of map this out for you, exactly the order that I've found works the best. I've played this a bunch of times now. And I will tell you the one thing about your map that you must have. If you look at your map, your berries need to be near your starting position. Honestly, it's that simple. It doesn't matter about whether you get a fertile map or you get good hunting or good iron or good clay or whatever. What matters is having berries near here, because you need to build your initial settlement in order to survive this first winter. You need to build real close to where you are. You cannot be trying to build out here somewhere. If our berries were over here and hunting was there and we tried to build out there, we would die. the time it took you to get out there to build something is all the time it takes for you to die. So here's what we want to look at. We've got supplies right here. Notice we've got 20 bread, we've got firewood, we've got stone, we've got tools. The tools, doesn't matter. We'd like to save the stone if we could. We must save the bread to make it easier on ourselves. Remember, we need 2 foods. So we can get wild animals pretty quickly. And the bread, and we would have our 2 food. Then next spring, when the berries are out, see, this is December, those 8 berries are going to be gone by the time we can get out there. So they're virtually nothing. By next spring, they'll come back, and then we'll have 3 foods. And actually what will happen is the bread, we're trying to save the bread, enough of the bread, so that it'll get us through till we can get berries and have berries and meat as our 2 foods. Now, the other thing you want to do, when you look at your map, which are we? We are Emmenruth. Okay. So the other thing we want to do, we want to figure out where our Kingdom Road is, and it is, whoops, I hit the wrong key. It is there, but it is not there. I can remove that road. See, those roads, that's not the Kingdom Road. This is, and that's pretty close. So that's actually, this is not bad. This is a good one. Now, the other thing you want to do is get your meat near your berries, because we got to have a compact design to really make this efficient, to make it work really. So what we're going to do is chase the spawning area for this for the animals. Now we can use a hunting camp. We could use a corpse pit. Basically anything that costs nothing. So let's do corpse pits. And we're just going to build it right on top of that. And we're going to leave it there. Because what we're going to do is just kind of keep chasing this thing around until we get it very close to the berries. That would be considered very close to the berries. And I'm fairly certain, we'll find out, but fairly certain that we can just pick those berries without disturbing the animals. Now we've got all our food right there together. Now, if you do this, make sure that before you start anything else, make sure you go through, hold down the tab key. That's on a PC, however you do it on any other device you're playing on. I don't even know what devices this game comes on, to tell you the truth. But anyway, we're going to hold down our tab key and make sure we delete those. And I have had cases on a start where to get the animals near where I wanted them, I might have 10 buildings out here scattered. And you got to get rid of them, because your people are going to go run for miles and try to build that stuff. And they don't know it was just used to chase animals. So get rid of that. All right, so we've got our animals and our berries near our start. And that's why I say the berries, because the berries you can't move. So find a place with the berries close, and then move your animals there. And then we can set up our road network like this. We can set up a road that goes into, well, let's do this. Let's build, I'd kind of like to build a circle. Well, I tell you what, before I get too into cute stuff, let's do something very important. Let's go get a granary and let's put it right next to those supplies. I mean, like right on them, like there.
Let's go, people!
We'll make that the highest priority, and I'm going to lay out the storehouse. The granary is the first one we want, but we'll lay the storehouse out and make it just very high. And the reason being that we can go ahead and use our ox to move wood over here, get that going. But we want this one done first, so let's just do that. That's what we need. That's our start right there. And we're going to get a message that tells us that we need to build a large town. And there's another message coming. Here it is. And it's telling us that we've already got raiders on their way. So we'll track their movement so we can just keep a little timer going, letting us know when disaster's coming. Now we're going to watch this and put 3 people on. As soon as it finishes, we're trying to save as much of that bread as we possibly can. I think we did pretty well. We're going to put 2 people on this and save as much of this as we can. And our bread, we saved 16. You see that? And if we had waited at all, we would have lost all of it because we already lost 4. All right, so that's how fast this weather kills you. Now, we're not going to use, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use the granary for a while because we only got 5 people and we've got a lot of work to do. So these guys can go until they get these supplies picked up. Hopefully some of the firewood, these are going to be gone, it doesn't matter. Get some firewood would be helpful, not mandatory, and get some stone. That would be great. Now, next thing we need a source of lumber. And I like to have a nice compact build for this whole thing. So maybe if we put now this is on a slope, but it's not that much. You can see how wide these lines are. It's not bad, so we should be able to build on this with no problem. Yeah. So let's go right here and put down our lumber camp, and of course I have to build a road around it. I can't help myself. Which actually gave us a double road there, but I don't mind at all. Okay. So, okay, build the lumber camp. And once these guys are finished picking up supplies, we'll release them from their duties. Oh, we did all right. Okay, we got most of it. Okay, you guys can go back and help us. Go back to the labor pool. All right, we'll get this thing done. All right, and let's get 3 people on that. And now we want to give them a cutting area away from this. So you guys, we'll give you a nice big area to cut. How about right behind you? Just cut out all of this. So that should keep them busy for a long time, bringing logs in here close to where we're building. All right, so we've got that going. Now we want to get our food source. So let's get a hunting camp and put it right next to this. Let's see, how would the roads look like? The road might come out of here like this and up to here like that. Yeah, let's put down a hunting camp here. Let's go, people. Now, one big change, I'm not sure what iteration my last videos were on, but the big change is the market stalls now. They've put in a functionality where you can turn these on or off. So this is on. If I click this, that would be off. But I want to leave it on for the hunting camp. We're going to put a family on it, and we're going to build a marketplace, a single stall marketplace right next to one location. Perfect. We're going to build one location right next to that hunting camp. And let's see. Then we'd like to have woodcutters get woodcutter right here. Let's get to work. Okay. And as soon as we see this stall get built as a food stall, so in other words, this family has food they want to sell, they'll build a stall. They've got some food. We should see a stall go up right here. We should see a stall go up right here. There we go. It's a food stall, good. So what we're going to do here, we're going to assign somebody to cut wood, and we're going to put a stall right next to them. that holds one site, one place, and that'll be for the woodcutter. So when they have some wood, they'll open up a stall there and work that. And in the meantime, we're still gathering up timber. Now the next thing we want to build, believe it or not, is a tannery. We'll put it right next to the source of its hides, which would be this guy. And we'll have to pull, we'll have to go over here and pull somebody off. In fact, we'll pull a couple people off. All right, there's a marketplace with a firewood, so he's got a firewood stall right next to his location, so it'll be easy to maintain. Then we're going to come over here to this, and we're going to put in a market stall here. I only want one location. There we go. Okay.
Just give me a hammer and something needs to not move. You'll know that.
You also notice I'm kind of only doing one thing at a time. I want to make sure these things come out the way I want them to come out. And we've got enough timber, almost enough timber to get our first set of houses, which is very important we do that as quickly as we can. There we go. Now, you guys get to work.
Let's get to work.
And notice we left the stall set up on, so they should come over here and set up a clothing stall right next to them. So they'll go right here and get their leather, their hides, turn it into leather, put it in a stall. They should be fairly efficient. Because we just can't afford to have these people working and this working. We just don't have enough people. Okay, so now we've got 24 timber. That's 24. That's pretty good. All right. I'd like to get this hitching post out of the way. And we'll move it right there. And then we're going to build our first set of houses, right? Well, our eventual marketplace will probably be right there. So let's build houses. Nope, we don't want to take that space. We're going to need that for our berry pickers. Let's go this way, I guess. Or, yeah. It really doesn't matter. We'll go this way. Let's set this road to go on down. And we'll get 5. Five houses built with extensions on the back. Okay, so we need to get rid of that homelessness. Okay, so there's our clothing stall built. Where? Oh, right here. So if we look at our marketplace, we can see them all. They're all at zeros right now. There's no houses to demand anything. And by the way, I have tried at building the houses first. It doesn't work as well. Because as soon as they're built, they're unhappy because none of this stuff is active.
Splendid work on the roof, good sirs.
You can come off and help build. Let's get this done.
another beam coming up. Is it me? Or is that hinge a bit stiff?
Okay. People are getting cold. But they'll have a home soon enough. There we go. We got everybody housed. And we should have... Yeah, we're starting to get these things filled up. Now we only... How many foods? We should have 2 foods because we've got bread over here in the granary. And we've got meat. And our hunting camp person that's running the stall should be able to do both for the time being. And we'll switch out of that mode when we have more people. All right, so we've got everybody housed. We've got our 3 things you have to have. You have to have the firewood, the fuel, you have to have clothing, and you have to have hunting. And in this model, you need to keep the clothing going, even though they don't ask for clothing all the time, because you need to keep that stall going so that you can maintain 100%. So to keep the satisfaction, we should be able to get the satisfaction up to 100%. And what we're hoping is that the 9 bread combined with 17 meat will last us through the winter in time for us to get out and do berry picking later on. All right, so now the next thing is to get a church as quickly as we can. That's the other drag on the church level. See, we've taken care of the homelessness and the cold. So the church level is the next thing we have to address. So we need planks to get that done. We've saved 10 stone. We managed to get 10 stone into our storehouse. So we need a saw pit. So the saw pit will go... It's having trouble snapping. Oh, it's a little steep right through here. We could put it back here. I kind of like to have it right in this area. There we go. All right, the saw pit will go right there. And it kind of sort of, it doesn't matter. It's not the big deal. It could go here, it could go up here, it could go wherever. But close to this is where we really want it. So notice we've got 2 workers. And 3 of them are spoken. They got to stay there and do their thing and run their stalls. All right, now we want to set a limit of 5. We'll make sure we have a construction reserve of 5. Get somebody in that saw pit, and we're going to need some more timber. So get the other person on timber, and let's get cranking here. And we'll go with the planks until we have 20, which will give us enough to build a church. Oh, and did we set a limit on the woodcutters? I don't think so. All right, we got the logging camp's back here, so let's set the woodcutters out this way. In fact, they can just clear us out a nice path out to our iron out there in case we ever use it, which probably won't. But the wood cutting does not really knock down trees very quickly. They can get a lot of wood out of one tree, apparently, because they do not clear anything like the logging camp. The logging camp just wipes out a forest, is what it does. There, now our saw pit's working. We do not want any other construction going while we're trying to hurry and get the planks, because, is that what they're called? Yeah, the planks, because then there would be competition for the ox. But this way we can move pretty quickly and get our 15. There we go, we already got it. So we're going to take you off, and we're going to put down a church. And the church can go kind of sort of wherever. Let's see where water is going to go. I really don't fret too much about where it goes. It's nice if it's real close to most of your housing. It's fine if it isn't, so it looks like it's going to go right up here. So, And I don't know if I said well. I meant to say well. I don't know what I was saying. I think I had church and well kind of mixed up there. But be that as it may, I think you knew what I meant. Okay, what's going on here? Why can't I build this? Okay, so our church can go. Let's put it right next to the planks and fairly close to the stone so we can get it built quickly. One church right there. And yep, let's go, people. I agree. So we're 100% on everything for our 5 families. We're building a church and we're building a well. And that should give them everything they need to be happy. And we've got a point we haven't even looked at yet. We're not going to till we get this church. And then we'll step back and decide about it, take another strategic view of our little village. Okay, the well's done.
Who approved this construction plan? A blind man or a fool? Or perhaps a blind fool?
And we've kept our approval up pretty well. There we go. Now we've got a church. Now that's the last negative. And if we look at our folks here, they've got all their requirements. They're happy. Okay. Now let's step back and see what we've got. We have rich animals. We got berries that we can get a lot of berries. Berries are no problem. The animals, if we go down a tack of animals, we could actually get enough food from them to make them one of our main sources for a long time. And we could actually live off the meat and the berries and not have to worry too much about how fast can we grow vegetables or can we get bread or anything like that. We can take a quick look at fertility and see that there's, we could do some emmer if we wanted to. Flax, nope. Barley, nope. Rye, if we wanted to go that route, we could do some research and get rye, but what we're going to do is no farming. No farming in this city, in this village. Okay, so where are we? We're in great shape. I would call that a great start. That was solid. We kept all our families. We kept our happiness relatively high, believe it or not. That's actually quite high, considering that they were missing everything. They're very demanding, and da-da-da. So let's think about expanding so that we can continue to grow, and let's think about how we're going to use our points. So, one thing we could do, as I said, we could go this path. Get the trapping, targeting the advanced skinning, which is going to double the meat, and then the extra hides, so that way we can get plenty of clothing from the animal sources, and we won't have to worry about flax and linen and stuff like that. We could also get make the berry deposit bigger, which would let us get like 700-800 a year out of the berries, which would make them a good thing to trade. And the good thing about trading berries is, a berry picker and a trading post, it doesn't take a whole lot of people. If you try to trade advanced things, like if I have to do an iron mine and a bloomery and a blacksmith in order to trade spears, for example, that's 3 different things that have to be, plus the trading post, that's 4 families tied up at a minimum in order to make that happen. The berries could be as little as 2, berry picker and a trading post. So, speaking of that, let's think about a trading post. Now, what we'll need to do with the trading post, we've got 50 coin. We could conceivably put our trading post in here in the town. Put it in here tight with this. and like sell berries, for example, and sell firewood. Or go charcoal and sell the charcoal and the firewood, and immediately set up a route. Man, I wish I could build it I could build it and then tear it down. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to put our trading post. And the reason I'm saying this, if you don't have any trade routes opened up, dedicated, you have to be on the King's Road, because that's the only way you're going to get the passive traders that come by randomly. You know, guys will come by and buy some stuff from you. And most of the time, that's how you have to start out. You have to kind of put your trading post on the King's Road and trade some of your lower items. The planks are good, firewood, charcoal if you go that route, berries, whatever you got, to get a little bit of money so that you can afford to open up trade routes to trade things that are worth more money, right? But I think what we can do is, I'm hoping that berry trade route isn't too expensive. I don't think it would be. I think we're going to go, let's give this a try. Let's go. And by the way, that's kind of the end of it. If you want to think of this as a guide, getting to there, that's your guide for starting a settlement on the edge or with challenging difficulty in general. And as I said, we'll come back and do one with no supplies, where we don't have that stone and we don't have that bread. It's a lot harder, but same kind of idea, same kind of thing. But I think I'd like to do that. I'd like to put that trading post right there. So let's get somebody back on wood. Definitely on timber. In fact, let's get 2 people on timber for the time being. We need to get some more timber going. And we need some housing so we can expand. It's going to be a while before we get growth, because we've got to overcome all those months of, well, it's only March, but and we started December. Then we December, January, February. Yeah, this is this is our 4th month. But notice we're 50 already. But we won't be able to stay there because there's, all that lingering disappointment about how we had to suffer. But we'll get growth fairly soon. So I'd love to be able to make sure we get some growth. Now, okay, so let's think about getting some food to help us out here, like vegetables. Vegetables are great, right? Well, everybody seems to be into these giant vegetable gardens that are just, humongous. I don't think I want to go that route. I think I would like to go maybe a double wide and kind of flare it out a little bit so you get a little extra space. Maybe a little bigger than that. And have that be a vegetable garden in the hopes that our families can get it going faster, right? So let's see if we can't build that. Now we could upgrade, by the way, right now, right? We could go straight for level 2. The problem is that if I go level 2, they're going to want a better church. They're going to want a 3rd food, which we don't have. Well, that's it. They're going to want a better church and a 3rd food. We don't have that stuff. Now, that would be great to get us something where we can start making some weapons or higher-end stuff to export, but I think we can do just fine exporting our, quote, low-end stuff. So let's get this built.
The fields need a bit of a drink. So could I.
And one alternative would have been to think about having 2 or 3 of these built like this early, so we could go ahead and use, because we do have money in this one is a little easier. But to start with nothing, you don't have any money either. With this, we got 50 coins. We could lay down 3 veggie pretty easily. But actually, now to think about it, I kind of want to use the money to get that trading route going first. So let's get this built, and then once we do, I'm going to set it at a little higher price. let's go. I want to do that trading post if we have the lumber for it. We do. Let's go for the trading post right here with everything else, so that we can easily load it. And one family should be able to do pretty well with that trading post if we have it in the right place. Oh, and we also need to think about the berries are there just screaming at us. We've got to get those. So I'm going to make this one low, this one very high, and then we'll go with the berry picker right out here. And we will make it very high and turn off the food stall. They don't need to be making a stall. Actually, I did that wrong. Well, let me think about this. The berries are more important than this. Very high, high, low. Okay. All right, go. And the reason I'm laying out more than one thing is I want to be able to move the lumber there right away. So somebody will get the ox and get the lumber moved to these places. And then it's just a matter of whoever's building. And right now, we don't have anybody. Let's have a couple of families go build. And this is the juggling you have to do when you only have 5
Step
families.
right up and sample.
But see, these berries will be right here, and this. And let's go ahead and start picking. And this is going to give us our second. See, we're down to 1 bread. This is perfect. It's working out fine. Now we'll start getting berries, and our 2 foods will be berries and meat, so we can keep people happy. And we're at a point where we can start getting new people once we get this built.
Is this smooth enough?
I think what we'll do is get this built, then get this built, and then when another family moves in, they can expand this to allow somebody else to build it. Now, what we could do, of course, is go ahead and do that, expand the living space, but I don't want to do that because then this can't be used, and we might lose a month of immigration. So we're only in April. We're doing great here. All right, let's just find out what's it take to get a food, berries. It only costs 30. Beautiful. We're going to do a trade route. We're going to export berries if we have anything over 50. We'll export, and you will not be setting up. You will not be setting up a market stall. I love that. I love how they did that. I love the whole idea of it. Look at this. We're looking good now. Now, what do we want to do here? Well, I could have done that and made that less, couldn't I? But I really don't want that one. I think we can make enough money to pay for our trade routes. Oh, why don't let's go berries. Let's just double up this berry capacity here. See, now it's 128. And what we're going to do is, what are we going to do? I think we put a family in the trading post. And let's do trade berries. Let's just trade all our berries. Now, the reason I'm doing that is that way the trading post can help empty out this. Just like treating it as if it were storage. So we don't have to have the granary and the trading post running. We have a trading post route, so traders should come here and get our berries. And as soon as we get another family, we're going to build another family spot. Then we're going to open up another one, and then we're going to get more people on the foraging, so that we're getting more berries. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how that works out. And this, actually, we can go ahead now, since we got that route, we can make this veggies. And nobody, there, we've got a 6th family come in. So now what we want them to do is expand that lot. And we want to build like that to build another nice veggie, and let's even make it like that. Okay.
Your eyes on our fine selection.
All right, so now we've got space for a 7th family, and we're expanding into an 8th. And once this is expanded, I'm going to go ahead and add to this hut over here. Now,
Well,
berries are
perhaps it
51.
was
I don't know if
simply a
it'll
bad-
gather more.
These things do happen.
I think it goes by how much it could possibly expect to sell in a given period. So we've got, let's see, are we getting berries in our marketplace? We are not. Why are we? Why aren't we? Since that was only 50, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put you guys in this. And I think we'll do a little transition here. I think what we're going to do is take you off, turn off the market stall, put somebody back on, so we've got hunting going. We're going to blow that one up. And this guy should pick up the food stall for us. Oh, it'd be nice if we had a place to put it. So we're going to make our eventual big food stall. I'm doing the wrong thing, aren't I? Here we go. I want this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. There's our big market. And we really, based on how nice and compact this is, we probably could have just used this in the beginning. There we go. He's going to build a food stall. Of course, as far away from himself as he can. But now he'll handle the food from now on. This guy should work more efficiently. And we should be able to get the berries and the food taken care of. And have them stacked up to sell. And we've got building going. Okay. A lot of ands. All good. Now the question is this our trade guy right here, I think? I think it is. Let's just see if we don't make some money right here. There we go. 150. Good. All right. Let's just stop right there. That was pretty good. I'm very pleased with that. We have, it's May, February, March, April. We played 5 months. We're in our 6th month. This is spring year 2, but it's really first year of play. And remember, we started December year 1. We've already got ourselves happy people. We've got our demands being met. We can start upgrading. We have solid food sources here. We're working on expanding our food ability. And in the next episode, we'll decide which way do we want to go from here. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed playing that. That was a little harder than what we were doing on normal, which I appreciate. It's more fun. You have to think your way through it. But I think if you follow those steps, maybe we could review those steps if I can remember them. In the case where you start with supplies, get a granary down and grab the bread as fast as you can. Now, why is that so important? Because the bread plus the meat gives you 2 foods, which is what all your people are going to which is what all your people are going to demand once they have housing. So you want to get the 2 foods, so bread and meat. Now, when you don't have any supplies, of course, that's a different thing. You have to do without, and we'll deal with that in a different video. So get your granary, grab your food. Get your storehouse, grab everything you can, because that way, we've got, look at it, we've got a bunch of firewood, we've got, we've got a tool, which is kind of worthless. We had some stone, we had 10 stone, which allowed us to build the church quickly. But anyway, get these things, get your stuff off the ground. Then get a logging camp going, get everybody on it, set your logging so that it's not interfering with your food. And I left out the step prior. One, make sure you got nearby berries, then chase your hunting right over next to your berries nearby. Doesn't have to be right on them like this. It could be over here, whatever. But get them over here using a corpse pit or a hunting camp, whatever you've got, whatever you prefer. Make sure if you do that, you delete them all. Okay? Now you've got yourself two good food sources nearby and convenient. You do most of your building right around that, so that everything's compact and close to travel. Then you get gather up your logs, get 5 houses down, get these people out of their homeless tents. Then once you have that, then you focus on getting a church, which means you need a saw pit. You get 20 planks, and make sure you have at least 5 lumber left over, and you've got your 10 stone, and you can build a church. And you place a well, and then you've got everybody happy, and you've survived. And then you start expanding, start adding a little bit of housing, and juggling your people around so that you can continue to grow. Start planning for the future. See here, we've got people planting their gardens. So build up some veggies, and we'll keep working on those veggies. And then you try to get, by the spring, by the May, so you go play December, January, February, you survive that on the bread and the meat, and then in the spring you start harvesting berries, and that gives you that's about the time your bread will run out, and that gives you the meat and berries to double up on your food going forward. And that's why it's so important to get as much of the bread off the ground as you can, so that you've got your 2 food sources through the winter, and so that you don't dip too low on your popularity. Now, once you do that, and you've got your church, you got a well, everybody's happy, and as I said, then you start expanding, you set up trade, and in our case, we just went straight for spending our initial funds to get a trade route going with the berries, so we wouldn't have to move our trading post down away from everything and have to have multiple families in order to shuttle. One family working here should do a good job picking up the berries here, and as we add new items, they'll probably, for the most part, we'll be putting our industries in this area near the trading post so that we can set up trade routes for other things. And again, that'll be in the next episode. I'm back to enjoying the game. I was getting a little tired of it, but I'm back to enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying this. Hope you got something out of this that'll help you survive on challenging starts. And I hope you'll join us for our next video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.